That's awesome.
So speaking about spring training, we had some cuts today.
We did.
Let's talk a little bit more about the roster. Unfortunately, sadly, my spring training crush, Lawrence Butler, got sent down. But I think we kind of all knew that was going to
Yeah,
happen.
that was coming.
I don't think he left on a bad note either. I mean, we know who Lawrence Butler is now for sure.
Yeah,
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 for
And
sure.
he's
Yeah.
definitely on the fast track. And that's the fun part of spring training
yeah,
Yeah.
is to see a young player who's a legitimate prospect. Okay, and let's
yeah.
let's be clear about that. And everybody talks about how barren maybe the A's system is. Well, we've seen him. We've seen Denzel Clark, who's now with Team Canada. Jordan
Yep.
Diaz with Team Colombia. We've seen those guys make impacts. But Lawrence will be paid attention to at Double A. He may be on the fast track. Who knows? Zach Geloff, of course, with Team Israel as well. So to me, seeing J.J. Bleday sent down, this kid was the 4th overall pick by the Marlins not too long ago out of Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
2 years.
And that's the thing. You take a flyer on somebody like that. A.J. Puck was the 6th overall pick when the A's got him out of Florida. And those organizations look at that and say, well, we can do something with him. Now, A.J. began to establish himself as a good late reliever last year.
Yeah.
Now, J.J. hasn't done that yet. And the outfield competition has been interesting to see unfold. I will say this. We all know the 2022 spring training was unlike anything any of us had experience with. All these, first it was Chris Bassett, and then it was Matt Olson, then it was Matt Chapman, then it was Shaman, all leaving in a span of like 10 days, and all these hugs in the clubhouse, and a lot of tears in the clubhouse, and all these new players. I don't even think the trade had taken place yet for Shea Langoliers. I don't even think he's been in the organization a year as we speak. I mean, that's how recent all stuff happened.
Yeah.
So, trying to see these guys come in on the fly, trying to get into the organization. They had tough years in the organization, but I think this year will be a much more settling year, and hopefully we'll see some progress at a lot of those young players. But for me, I mean, seeing J.J. Bleday sent down is something that kind of, I wouldn't say surprising, but because there's competition out there, somebody has to go, and he has options. And we know Christian Pache does it, and Pache had 2 more hits today, including a triple against the Giants. So he's been fun to watch. He knows what's at stake. And he's a talented kid. He's the best defender by far. He's better than Ruiz in center field. But they love Ruiz, so they acquired in that 3-team deal. And we'll see how that plays out.
Yeah, Ruiz had a really good catch today too, and
he did, but he kind of took like a circuitous route to the ball. He ended up with the dive. But he's got great tools.
Yeah,
he hasn't played center field a whole lot. Now center field is like in the back pocket for Pache. He's already made 3 unbelievable plays.
Pache's amazing
during spring training. So.
Yeah, and what do you like Ryan Noda's chances to make the squad? I mean, he keeps on producing. I think he had a double either today or yesterday. I think it was today. He had another double, and he's a Rule 5 guy. He started out hot, and he's keeping it up. And they optioned Dermis Garcia today, and like you said, Bleday. So those 2 more guys who were fighting for spots.
Right. I think Noda does have an excellent chance. I mean, look, this is a team that lost 102 games last year. You can take a Rule 5 guy, and let's be honest. And Noda's a little more experienced, a little older. He's shown power in the Dodgers system. He's a better defender than Jesus Aguilar. Jesus has been by far the best guy to talk to in camp.
Oh, is he a fun guy?
Yeah.
He accepts the leadership role. I mean, I'm hoping that there's going to be some semblance of the all-star Aguilar that plays for the A's, because that will really be fun to watch, and it'll be a great get for the Athletics. He can do a whole lot of things inside that clubhouse. Noda, I think, is going to get a chance, especially because he bats left-handed. So with Jesus batting right-handed, so you're going to see those platoons. To me, the wild card is Seth Brown.
Really?
Seth hasn't played a whole lot successfully against left-handed pitching. That's something he wants to be more of a regular player, more of an everyday player. I see him in left field right now. He played a lot of first base last year. I don't think you need him at first base, but if Noda doesn't make the club, then you're doing that. If you've got Brown in the left, you've got Pache or Ruiz in center, Laureano in right. That would be against the right-handed pitcher, and then against the left-handed pitcher, you would go. Then you've got Pache, Ruiz, Laureano probably in the outfield.
Yeah.
Against the left-hander. and see where that takes you.
I think another two names that are still in big league camp that are intriguing to me are Asturi Ruiz and Kevin Smith. You know, I feel like Kevin, if he wasn't doing that well, he would have been probably cut down, but he's kind of keeping himself in right now. And you know, I know Jace Peterson, they signed him. He's here for the next couple of years. That might complicate things, but what do you think about those two guys? I know they both have options, but what do you think? Do you think they're going to be kind of those bubble guys at the end of
camp? Ruiz will break camp with the club. I mean, he'll
Yeah.
come north for the Giants series. Whether or not he makes the club, we'll know certainly at that point. Kevin Smith is a real intriguing story because it was a frustrating year, and I go back to a guy that was a Toronto Blue Jay, you know, in Dunedin, and suddenly he's flipped. He's with the new organization, trying to learn everybody. It was a condensed spring training. Everything was happening so fast, and he got off to such a slow start offensively, except for the series in Toronto. Still catch the ball. He's a decent defender, and then he goes down to Las Vegas, and the same thing. I mean, he was struggling mightily until he got to late August and into September, where he hit 11 home runs in September. And as Mark Kotze said, we could have called him up for September, but maybe it was better off to keep him down there. He says he's in the best frame of mind in any camp he's ever been in. The jury is still out. They think he's made some adjustments to a swing path, which can help him make better contact. So, we'll see. I mean, Kevin Smith may last a little bit longer, but you've got Diaz and you've got Jace Peterson, and even in a pinch, you've got Tony Kemp at third base. So, I mean, Kevin Smith has a chance to make the club if he does, it's as a utility guy because he could play second, short, and third. And you've got a right-handed power there, but that's what Diaz is. So we'll see. He's a kid you root for. I mean, he was MVP at AAA with his Buffalo team 2 years ago. There's some success in there. Trying to get it to translate to the big leagues is always the $64,000 question.